Hello once again, my minions. This is Master Satyr. Last time I told you that I was going to have some considerations about this mob tower, and this is the video to talk about those considerations. The first consideration is the ladders that we used. So if we go inside, I'm on peaceful right now so that they don't spawn. We had originally ladders right here and right here, and that worked well because it kept the lava back. But ladders, it's not going to work on this version that I've got. But if I have a ladder, I'll just replace that. And I throw a ladder up on the edge right there. Ladders have hitboxes. Now, I'm on Minecraft 1.1, and they removed the hitboxes, but in the latest development release and in 1.2 the hitboxes are going to be back. So what that means is that when a mob falls in the lava and or water and gets pushed towards the lava, they're actually going to get caught on the corner of this hitbox until they jump away from the side, and then they'll be able to get in. So I found out that if you get a sign, where's the sign? Signs are down. Sign. There's a sign. We get a sign. We put a sign up right here. Signs do not have hitboxes. They do not have a top hitbox. They don't have a bottom hitbox or either side hitbox. So by removing the ladders, and putting signs in right here, when mobs fall down, if they're pushed up against this wall, they'll still get pushed into the lava. So that's the first consideration. The second consideration is, let's turn it on. I'm on creative, so I'm invisible to the mobs. Let's go ahead and put it on normal. The second consideration is spiders. Now, all the other mobs, creepers, skeletons, zombies, they can't climb the walls, but spiders can. So what has happened, and I found this out in my Skyblock world, is that when they fall down, if I'm standing over here collecting stuff, for some reason the spider can see me through the wall, so it tries to get me and ends up climbing up this wall into this chamber. And then I had just tons and tons of spiders in this chamber that wouldn't die, which really put a damper on my yield, my string yield from this thing. I mean, I was getting zombie meat well, I was getting skeletons and all that other stuff. They were getting really getting good outputs for them, but spider string I wasn't. So I found out that I needed to block the spider from getting up the back wall. Now I did this in two different ways. First of all, I added two signs here. What that does is when the spider comes down, signs? No, not signs, because signs don't have hitboxes. We want ladders. Put two ladders here. What happens is when the spider gets down to the bottom and tries to climb up the edge, he'll get caught on the bottom of these ladders because they're in the way. But that won't push him into the lava. Sorry, into the lava. So what I also did is I cut out these two blocks, and if you look on the outside, I've actually put a frame around that, and those two blocks are behind this frame. If you put two blocks right there underneath your ladders and put some water in there, let's get the water. What that'll do is that will push those spiders off of this wall that they're trying to climb up into the lava pit. So there is the spider consideration. So that should increase my yield of string beyond what it normally would. So as you can tell, because it's creative and whatever, this world it's not creating very many mobs in here, and if it is, they're just not falling down. And I think what the case is that they're just not appearing. Hey, Mr. Enderman. All right, so those are the considerations. Now, what I wanted to tell you a little bit about this mob tower is the way the Minecraft is built. Hostile mobs can only spawn as close to 24 blocks from you. That means 24 north, south, east, west, up, down. So if you're going to put this in your world, the tower should be either more floors, or this tower up to the bottom floor should be 20 blocks high. That should give you enough space inside for mobs to spawn for you. But another consideration is I had extremely high outputs of drops on my Skyblock world because there was no valid places for mobs to spawn. Now, I don't know if it's changed, but it used to be that Minecraft only allowed you to have 200 hostile mobs on a map at any one time. And those mobs could only be as close to 24 blocks from you and as far away as 64 blocks from you. Or was it 128? Whatever. They can only be within a certain donut radius of you. On Skyblock, because there was no valid spawning floors for the mobs to spawn on, they all spawned in my tower, which gave me excellent yield for drops. On a world like this, because the slimes count as hostile mobs and those endermen count as hostile mobs, that greatly limits the number of mobs that can be in this tower at any one time. Now, this world is built on their super flat development world, which is awesome, but in the real world, you're also going to have a bunch of cave systems down below your tower where mobs are going to spawn, which is going to reduce your drop rate again. So this tower, although it is very effective, it's probably one of the most effective spawn towers I've built. It still isn't as effective as it would be, as it was, I should say, in my Skyblock world. That being said, it's still very good. I've built other mob grinders in the past, and from varying different designs. Some of them that were good output, some of them that were bad. The best output was when I actually found all the caves underneath my spawn tower and lit them up with lights. So as you can see, I'm getting a pretty good yield. I've only been recording since the beginning of day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut here and I'm going to do 2 tests. I've got this world right here, which is my build world where I built this. And if I quit and go into tower test, this is the same mob tower, and you can see in the window, it's the same mob tower that I built before, but in a world where we've got, we've got a bunch of cave systems. Now this is going to be very easy to see. Let's see if I can brighten it up. You can see all these cave systems, and I haven't lit any of them, so mobs can spawn down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 tests. One on this world, where it's got cave systems, and I'm going to do a dawn to dusk test, and I'll see how many drops I get. And then I will do a test on tower, my build world. Actually, I think I'm going to do this one first, from dawn to dusk. Let's go ahead and kill all the mobs. And pick these up. Oops, no clip off. Pick all these up. And what I'm going to do is I'll dump these off the edge and then set the time to day, and I'll come back at the end of the day and I'll show you what my yield was for this tower. So let's do this one first. We'll get rid of all these out of here. And since they're gone, okay, time day, this is the beginning of the day, options, normal, and I'm going to park myself here. So I'll come back at the end of the day and we will see what yield we got for this development world. Alright, my minions, I've on this world I've waited from dawn to dusk, and the sun's setting and the lights are coming out, or the stars are coming out, so we're going to go ahead and turn it back to peaceful and see what our yield is. I've collected a little bit of it, but we're going to go ahead and let the rest of this stuff trickle down and see what our intake is. Looks like that piece of meat is the last bit. So, on a super flat world, from dawn to dusk during the daylight hours, it gave me 64 plus 4, 68 gunpowder, 69 meat, 58 arrows, exactly 64 bones, and 5 string. So, obviously the spider thing isn't great, but it's at least giving me some string and not causing the spiders to run away. So next we're going to go to the real world with cave systems and so forth, where I've also built this tower, and we're going to go ahead and see what that does during a day from dawn to dusk. Alright, my minions, I switched this to peaceful. I spent a day, one full Minecraft day, in this world, which has a full cave system, of course, and my yield was a little bit lower. I got a 9 arrows, 7 bones, 16 creeper powder, 30 zombie meat, and 3 strings. So my yield was quite a bit less, but the reason that is, if I go down here below the earth, you'll see that all the, I know I talked about this before, but they all spawn into these cave systems. So for every mob that spawns in a cave system within that donut I talked about, they cannot spawn in here. So there's that. The tests seem to go pretty well. It's a pretty good spawn tower. If you can figure out how to block in all the caves around this area, then you'll be able to use this pretty effectively. So yeah, we'll end it here. In the description below is the links for this schematic tower. The first link is the actual tower itself, full complete, three floor tower, and the second one is just the top floor, so that you can just keep, in like MC Edit, you can just keep pasting and pasting and pasting and making it taller and taller and taller. So go download those. Those are awesome, and we'll see it. Oh, the schematic does not include it doesn't include this window, but it doesn't include the spider consideration I spoke about. So if you want to add that to test if that increases your spider yield, you'll have to build it manually. So, this is Mass Crusader, signing off.